Hello. Well, friends, we will start from where we have left yesterday. We were having a basic idea about anthropology and its various dimensions, especially from the different parts that we have divided the subject into, or rather, 6 parts. What are those 6 parts? We should get this into our system before we actually take a plunge. What are the 6 parts? Part 1 is social cultural part, including the introduction. Number 2 is biological or physical part. Part number 3, anthropological theories or thoughts. Number 4, prehistoric archaeology, also known as archaeological anthropology. And before I go further, I hope you got a new copy of the syllabus. This is the one I wanted. Hope everybody has got that copy. Now you open the notebook yesterday that you have written and just cross check. Part 5 had Indian society and culture. Part 6, tribal India. For example, I told you in part 1, we have chapter 1.1 to 1.3. Anyone wants additional copy? Ask the person. Some more copies, please. Your friends are waiting. How many? Raise your hands. So that's the reason I wanted to have these papers now. Now focus there. 1.1 to 1.3. Meaning, scope and development of anthropology. Right? 1.1 mein. Andulo undi kada. Next. Relationship with other disciplines, 1.2. So how is anthropology related to all these biological sciences, geological sciences, medical sciences? In the earlier classes, I was talking about rock samples, dating, geology. If we dig the earth's layers, we will know some age of the earth. Age of the earth is about 4.5 billion years. How do we know that? With the help of geology. So anthropology has got relationship with geological sciences. You see, there it is written, geological sciences, earth sciences. Earth sciences unda akkada? Underline cheyandi. So anthropology is related to social sciences like sociology, economics rather, psychology, political science. For example, I was talking yesterday about economic organization, people living in hunting and gathering stage even today. Some people are living in pastoralism, buffalo pastoralism. That means we also study some economic stuff. So it is related, anthropology is related to economics, and economics is a social science. So these relationships we know in 1.2. 1.3, main divisions or branches of anthropology. Number 1.3a, social cultural. 1.3b, please have a look at your syllabus. You should get it by hearted. If at all, one most important point I'm trying to say, and in my classes I have a usual practice. I say you please put a star or 2 stars, 3 stars. You put a box so that your regular content is separated from these beautiful suggestions, tips for your success. One of the tips I'm going to suggest to you is, when you see this divisions, etc., the syllabus division, you should, in fact, after some time, you feel like I have already known it. You should by heart the syllabus, not the subject. That is my quotation. I repeat, what you should by heart? Syllabus. What you should not by heart? Many people do the opposite. That's the reason they will not see their name in the list. How should subject go into your head? Then natural question, you will rise, right? How should the subject go into your head then? Sir, batti kottakonda etla? How do, without mugging up, ratta marna nahi hai, how it is possible? It is possible when you have that passion and the constant questioning, brainstorming, thinking, connecting, comparing, contrasting, writing, and 2-3 times speaking with your friends and suggestion. These suggestions will take you there into the list. Why should we by heart the subject? Sorry, the syllabus. Any guesses? I told you in my classes, not only subject but also some personality tips will be coming with a natural flow. Why should we by heart syllabus? Tell me. Perhaps the only person you have come across saying you have to by heart something, and that is syllabus. Very strange, no? Has anybody told you in school or college? I told you, you will not see a person like me. Why you should by heart the syllabus at this level, UPSC level? Because suddenly something happens, a rally is now going. This is called as junction. What junction? Dharna Chowk. For your kind information, Indira Park Chaurasta is known as Dharna Chowk. Tomorrow, some Adivasi people are doing some dharna there. You see, they are having banners and they have come with their tribal attire, tribal dresses. How do you relate to that? How do you relate? Is it relevant to our subject or not? Is it relevant to our syllabus or not? So in the syllabus, where do you connect that? So you should know that tribals are having some problems. They are yesterday I was talking about that tiger reserve in Sri Salem. So many people are getting displaced. So imagine those 30 families have come to Dharna Chowk and doing dharna. Then immediately in your notes, in your mind itself, you will note, acha, this topic I should remember it under chapter 3, 6.3. 6.3, go to paper 2, tribal problems. Again, chapter 6.2 itself, they have the problems of displacement and rehabilitation. Correct? Tribal displacement and rehabilitation. That is a problem that these people are suffering. In fact, lakhs and millions of tribals have been displaced from their habitat. Have you ever got displaced? Somebody has come and to your house and said, get out. I want to take your house and land. Have you experienced that? But tribal people, bechare, are suffering since decades. So we never bother about them. Anthropology allows you to do that. And number one, through the syllabus. We are not doing anything for our interest. It is there in the syllabus. So if you know the syllabus, you can relate to that. Today one article has come. Yesterday another article has come. Karnataka. I wanted to introduce some reservations in the private sector. You know, a lot of, in fact, our phone pay, everybody uses phone pay for even chai also. Phone pay CEO has said apologies to the Karnataka people. Please, I am withdrawing my remarks on the reservation, whatever reservations for the local people based on language or locality, localness in private sector also. Because it's a emotional thing. See, reservations based on local people, that is one angle, and language also, Kannada local people. So naturally, people will have emotional thing. If somebody is coming and directly saying it is wrong, his business may be hit. People will stop using phone pay. As simple as that. See, anthropology is linked to business. Many companies in America, please note this, put a star or write in a box. Many companies in America employ anthropologists. You will be surprised and shocked. On their payrolls or advisors to how to devise a plan or an advertisement. Advertisement also, before you make an advertisement and release it to the market, you have to be very careful. Otherwise, if something goes wrong in that, your business is like your share will fall down. Overnight, your share loses 5%, 10%, and you'll lose millions of dollars. It happened in case of, I think, some Swiggy or Zomato, 2-3 years back. How many people saw Lagan movie? At least heard Lagan movie. There was one character called Kachra. In that movie, that kachra fellow is a dirty fellow, does all the kachra jobs. And he hails from a scheduled caste community. Zomato made an ad making, they wanted to recycle their all this dabba. After you use those parcel, after you take food, you throw that away, right? And Zomato has a policy, introduced a policy of recycling such wastage. They've taken some smart fellow has thought, acha, let us introduce that character kachra in our ad. So kachra is like he's doing like this. He will become a table. He will be doing that. He will become a lamp. He will become something. So what is the idea that Zomato is trying to project? It is trying to project that, look, we have good intentions. On the World Environment Day, we are trying to protect the environment by recycling our plastic and other wastage. Intention is good. But what backfired? They have used this man, Kachra character from Lagan movie, to say that, look, this fellow is a waste fellow and we are using it. So it has hired the scheduled caste community. Somebody has noticed this and they have raised a big Allah. And it has to come and again apologize. Is it needed in the first place? If you would have appointed an anthropologist, your business might not have suffered, and this ignominy and this unnecessary shame could have been saved about that. So anthropologist, there is a concept of applied anthropology, though it is not written here. And 9.3, last chapter, go to last chapter 9.3, paper 2. There is something called as anthropology and its role in rural development, everywhere. So applied part, how anthropologists play a role. Applied. See, what is the use of knowledge? What is the use of knowledge? You go and study some tribal society and you understood their life. Wonderful. You write a book. Excellent. What is the use? I earn my doctorate. I earn my name. I get my money from publication if that book becomes a hit. Excellent. And what is the use of that book unless it is used for the general public? That is called as applied anthropology. So again, coming back to 1.3, today also slightly it will be crisscross. You're like you are playing a game. I call it as a treasure hunting game. You played in your childhood treasure hunt. Today also we'll be playing that game. Initially you will be puzzled that treasure hunt is there in front of your eyes in the form of your syllabus paper. So again you have to come to 1.3 paper 1. Come to 1.3 paper 1. There are 4 divisions, right? Anthropology is divided into 4 parts, major divisions. What are those? Social cultural part 1.3a, social cultural part. 1.3b, physical or biological part. 1.3c, this was I was talking about yesterday, archaeological anthropology. And 1.3d, linguistic anthropology. This division was given by a great American anthropologist, father of American anthropology. This man is called as Franz Boas. I'll be taking the name of Franz Boas dozens and dozens of times, so don't worry. If you want to write it down right now, no problem. Even if you don't write also, no problem. Who is this man? Franz Boas, who has divided the subject matter of anthropology into several parts. That means anthro, if you want to divide anthro, like how we have done yesterday, the basic subject matter of anthropology can be divided into 4. But he has done it long back, almost 100 years back, more than 100 years rather. But today, as I told you, what is the use of gaining all this knowledge unless you apply it? So after getting the knowledge from here, this knowledge is translated into a 5th part, which is not told by Franz Boas, but the later scholars called applied anthropology. This is not there in the syllabus, but it is a implied thing. Implied. What is implied? What do you mean by implied? Something which is not there, but it is there. No, though it is not written clearly on paper, but it is there. You have to know applied anthropology. The question has come earlier also. So what we are trying to understand, the first we are trying to get the parichaya of the syllabus. In the same Rajinikanth movie I was suggesting yesterday, there is a dialogue. Parichayal benchukondi. You have to do the parichaya with your syllabus. You have to increase the rapport with the syllabus. Each and every word in the syllabus should sit in your head, not only in anthropology, but also in your general studies. If somebody asks, what are you studying? You should say, in paper 2, I am talking about governance, and I am talking about the policies and programs. Immediately, like that structure should be there in your mind. The structure will enable, it will do magic to your preparation. Well, as I told you in the beginning, we will continue the discussion with the introduction to one part. One part, what is that part? I told you it is part number 3 in our scheme, and which includes only one chapter. Only one chapter. What is that chapter? The chapter name is chapter number 6, which is your anthropological theory. By the way, people who want to know my name again, I am Vijay Sarthi for you. And today we will be talking about this anthropological theories. What happened to this here? Oh, here, yeah, we can write anthropological thought or theories. So, in the introduction, we'll be knowing how this entire thing has actually come about. Thought or theories is nothing but a person's reaction or response to some kind of phenomenon or phenomena in a society. You can just write down in one line also if you want. What is that? Thought, basically a person's reaction or a response to some phenomenon or phenomena in the society. We will travel very slowly, and slowly your slumber will become like excitement. That is a guarantee. Number 3 I can give. Initially it will start very slow, go like tortoises, no problem. What is a theory or thought? If I am giving a theory or thought, I am doing how? I am responding or reacting to some phenomena or phenomenon in the society. Whatever it is happening. So, in anthropological theories or thought, these people, some scholars, these scholars are called as your thinkers. These thinkers or scholars or anthropologists gave one idea. Basically, what are the topics what are the phenomena they were studying? Phenomena means something which is happening in our society. These ideas were basically on two entities. Number 1, society. Number 2, culture. And social cultural institutions. What is the subject matter? If I am a thinker, I am an anthropologist. On what entity I am giving a theory? What is my subject matter? For example, you are an astronomer. What is your subject matter? Space and that sky, etc. For an anthropologist, what is the subject matter? Society, culture. Simple. I am making things simple. Society, culture, as well as social cultural institutions. You guys know what is a society, what is a culture. Then what about social cultural institutions? Social cultural institutions are, for example, I'll just give 2-3 examples. I'm writing shortly. Social cultural institutions, SCI. They are there in your syllabus. Marriage, family, political system, economic systems, religion. These are all examples of social cultural institutions. That means these scholars are giving theories on not only society, not only culture, but also on marriage, on family, on economic organization, on political organization, etc. Clear so far? As I told you, I'll be going like in a phase of, you will be going back to A, B, C, D. Any subject should be dealt like that only. A, B, C, D. If you rush to words now, if you are in a hurry, you will be losing the base. Let me come again. Okay? What these people are basically trying to talk about, what is the subject? What are the subjects rather? Society, culture, social cultural institutions like marriage, family, economic organization, political organization, religion, etc. So, 5 are more than enough. If you try to read 5, you can at least remember 3 or 2. That is enough for the exam. Okay, wonderful. Now, in this several scholars have spoken about, we have seen yesterday about 12 theories we have. But any theory, any reaction or response to some social phenomena, do they come just like that? Today we are enjoying all these facilities thanks to the great inventors earlier who have lived before us, right or wrong? We have to be like forever, in English, grateful. Forever grateful. Why? Because worked their entire lifetime to give those fruits of their work. Today we are there because of that. And mostly we are dealing this subject knowledge in the scientific manner. The same thing we have spoken earlier also. We are speaking about science. Again, which science? Anthropology is a dash science. Social science. Okay. Now we will have to go back to science. What is exactly this science? Okay. I have to get adjusted to this probably. This will take some time. Okay, I'll do one thing. Yeah, wonderful. Everybody talks about science and science. You know what is its origin? The word science comes from a Greek term, scientia. Scientia, it means to know or knowledge. Either it is called as to know or simply knowledge. Somebody suddenly asks, what is science? Do you know the meaning of science? The word science has come from the root word or Greek root word called scientia, which means to know or knowledge. What we are trying to know in science? No. What is sky? What is earth? What is matter? You've studied, no, in the school. In physics, what is matter? In biology, what is life? In chemistry, what are elements and compounds, mixtures, chemicals, reactions? So what? Many questions related to that. And Greece has been the fountainhead of this knowledge. From 400 or 500 BC also, even before that. Now, whenever I write 500 BC, that means it is older. You all know that, right? 400 BC is a younger phenomenon. 300 BC. So much of the scientific knowledge base has begun in Greece between these almost 200 to 300 years in Greece during the BC times. Ancient Greek civilization was responsible for that. They have produced dozens of scholars, right from Socrates. Socrates is the number one philosopher in the world. And his student Plato, his student Aristotle. And parallelly there was another person called as Herodotus. These four people were like, fountainheads of many disciplines. You must have studied father of history, father of biology, father of science. Aapko malum tha na in your school, college days. So these fellows have thrown so much knowledge into the world that all of them have kick-started something called as scientific thinking in the world. Scientific thinking in the world. Parallelly, in Europe, around at the same time, parallelly, there was another stream that was developing. One stream was scientific stream, another stream was about God and goddesses and demons and all that. Now, if you ask a pure scientific fellow, he says, "Do you believe in God?" He says, "Absolutely. I don't believe. I am an agnostic fellow." "Where is God? Tell me, show me." He asks, "Where is God? Show me." So one line is full of science, which believes only on evidences and theories and facts. The other line that has developed was religion. Science and religion were parallelly developing, but at one point of time, religion has overtaken science. In Europe, I am talking about Europe, we have a great knowledge in India, but unfortunately that has not entered into the textbooks. Otherwise, if India would have dominated the world, which I would have been speaking in some Sanskrit or Hindi, and you will be taking notes in that. Anthropology also in Hindi or Sanskrit, not in English. And tell you what, we are also studying English language. When somebody asks you, what are you studying? What are you preparing for? I am preparing in anthropology, right? I am preparing for UPSC in anthropology major. Now, how are you preparing? What is your medium? English language. From where it has come? How it has come? Through the colonial masters, English fellows. How they have come to India? From where they have come? From where they have come? Answer, I told you, my classes are highly interactive. You will be participating. This is your session. I am just like a referee. You are playing a football match. I am a referee running along with you. Europe and Greece was dominant civilization or think tank in the ancient times in Europe. The same Europe again was dominated by, as I told you, for many centuries by the church, because Christianity has completely dominated Europe. Even today it is, of course, a dominant religion, but today science has almost like occupied a prominent place in the world. But go back to those days, hundreds of years back, religion was dominant, because religion has given some solutions to people. So we'll talk about that in chapter 5. Go to paper 1, chapter 5. We have a topic called as religion. So we, from anthropological angle, approach religion also very clearly. There we talk about three phenomena: magic, religion and science. You see, these three words are there or not in your syllabus? They are there, right? So we approach the subject in our own unique way. So we try to understand why people in Europe were dominated by religion, and how has science again overtaken. I'll give you a beautiful diagram here, very simple diagram. Okay? I told you one stream started, this is a science stream. In Greece it has started, and rest of the Europe, science, religion started somewhere in the middle. Or okay, these two are streams like a small stream of water. Okay, these two have started. Somewhere religion has overtaken and science has got confluence here. Now the world started getting dominated by religion till the 16th century. 15th also sometimes. 15th and 16th century. Again from here, religion, one of the branch got separated. Rather, religion continued in its own way. Science has again got resurrected. This discussion is very important because we have a topic called as postmodernism in chapter 6. Go to chapter 6, paper 1. I told you, you please live with this. That there is a great quotation by Apple co-founder. Who is that? Steve Jobs. He said, stay hungry, stay foolish. There is nothing wrong in staying foolish. We are not blessed with the great knowledge. For 1 week, 10 days, if you are staying foolish, it's absolutely okay, I told you. Even if you don't understand a wee bit in 1 week, absolutely no problem. Now also, if you are not understanding, no problem. But try to put your 100%. In chapter 6, if you open, there is a last theory called postmodernism. Now, I would appreciate your attention here. When if I do everything scientific way, I come to this class with gadgets, etc. I say, okay, like how I'm right top to bottom, I'm equipped. And next day, I come in dhoti, kurta, only I just have that farmer's dress. What kind of words do you use to describe? I'll give you 2 words, okay? One is modern, one is traditional. Which one would you use? First day, scientific, modern. I've come with all the scientific gadgets. Second day, I've come with dhoti, kurta, pajama. What is the word? Traditional. So, when people were living in religion, these fellows were mostly traditional. Even today, every day if you are going to temple and you come to your room and give prasad to your friends, wow, what a traditional person you are. Antaru kada my friends? Regular ga traditional, madi traditional family antaru. But other person is scientific, modern. What is the other name for scientific? Modern. So, at one point of time, when science was about to die, science got resurrected again. Suddenly, like a new energy has come into Europe. Which time? 15th and 16th centuries. 15th and 16th centuries, there was something called as Renault. You will be wondering, when I say Renault, I'll write something else. You have seen this word, right? How do you pronounce earlier? Renaissance. Usually we pronounce it as Renaissance, but it's actually called as Renault. And translated into English, this word means rejuvenation, rebirth, coming to light again. This Renaissance means rebirth or rejuvenation. What is getting rejuvenated? Next question. What is getting reborn? Earlier I told you there was a danger. What has gone and mixed with what? Science stream has was about to disappear. Almost it has disappeared for some decades and some centuries. Which is the context I'm speaking about? Which is a continent? Europe. We are not talking about India, Asia or any other continent. Only Europe. In Europe, the stream which got dried up like our Saraswati river long back, it has again started coming out. Why? Because what is the word I have written before this in the earlier slide? Single word. Single word. I gave you the Greek word, means to know. Science. People started questioning. And what is the meaning of science? To know. Knowledge. If you don't question, will the knowledge open up for you? If I give you continuous lecture for hours together, all of you will be put to sleep. That is the reason teaching for civil service exam at this level is the toughest job in the country. And to keep you attentive for 2.5 hours is like a kind of a juggling kind of a thing we do. How it is possible? In my class, I'll be keeping you awake and your mind is always open. How is your mind open, my dear friends? By questioning. I question, you question, both are attentive. And you don't feel like tired for 2.5 hours also. And Europe was kept awake for the next 500, 600 years with that. Because earlier, when religion dominated, people were blindly following. If they say this is the incarnations, okay, people were used to follow. If this is the great deeds of the God, people used to follow. If these are the creations, people used to follow. Did we speak about this yesterday or not? What did I say about creation? Everything I use keyword approach in this class. Today's class has connection with the yesterday's class. Yesterday's class, day before yesterday's class. About creation, I told you there was one year date given according to church in England and Europe. What was the year? They said in the morning 9 a.m. 4004 BC the creation started. It ended midnight. At 9 p.m. in the night, 9 p.m. in the night, who was created? Man or humans. Humans were created at 9 p.m. When religion dominated, people just followed. They never questioned. But some people started questioning how it is possible. How can man be created with more perfection and animals are with lesser perfection? Whereas you can see same life is there. That is also having cells. I am also having cells. That fellow can also sense. That can also eat. That can also reproduce. But of course we can speak. They can't speak. Only that is the difference. But coming to apes and monkeys, they are more closer to us. That means in the evolution, these monkeys and apes were closer to us. Dogs and other animals were slightly far away. In that, yesterday I have drawn that tree, right? Tree of life. Somewhere in that one branch, chimpanzees and other apes were closer to us, not dogs and cattle. That means those are also evolved, we have also evolved. But we have come far, far, far ahead. This is a thinking that was developing in science. People started questioning everything. For example, you might have heard about geocentric theory, right? What was geocentric theory doing? I mean, telling earlier, before other theory was given in 17th century, like Galileo, Copernicus, etc. Geocentric telsa telida. Geo means Earth is the center of the universe or the solar system. Entire universe, Earth is the center. Because we know only Earth. In 16th century, 15th century, before this scientific questioning started, entire world, they thought only Earth is there. Nobody is there beyond Earth. Even if you can see sun, moon, etc., Earth is the center of the universe. That was the thinking. Until Galileo proved that with an experiment he has proved that when you see the ship is going along the horizon, after some time the ship disappears. What could be the meaning of that? Earlier people used to believe Earth is flat. If Earth were to be flat, how can the ship disappear? Basic questioning, simple questioning. Earlier people never questioned, they just blindly followed. This time onwards people started questioning. In Europe, 15th century, 16th century, as part of Renaissance popularly. So, he has said, because the ship is disappearing, that means it is like this, Earth is like this. So, Earth is spherical, not flat, number one. Number two, Sun is the center of Earth, because with that elliptical diagram they have shown. ఇవన్నీ మీ స్కూల్లో కూడా ఉండేవి, కానీ అప్పుడు అంత గుర్తులేదు, చాలా రోజులు అయిపోయింది, మీ కూడా ఫర్గాట్. బట్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ థియరీస్ ఇట్ వాస్ ప్రూవ్డ్ దట్ ఆల్ ద ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ dogma or dogmas. What are dogmas? When you don't question and blindly follow some beliefs, they are called as dogma. Myths you can write down, because I told you this journey is also full of English language. And you should have the basic English language. You may not master it, but Some basic language is needed. Dogma means some kind of a belief which people nurture blindly. They don't question and accept simply. So if in Europe, this was a condition, people were suffering, diseases were prevailing, and yesterday I told you, if you have a disease which is not coming down, to whom you go? To the church father or to the doctor? I'm not talking about any one particular religion, I'm just speaking one example, okay? So please don't get into that mode. We won't go to any priest or a Brahman and take the mantra, ek mantra de do, mere ko kam ho jayega. Aisa nahi hota hai. So people were not getting solutions. So people started thinking, finding the truths, finding the solutions. So science has started taking again strong rebirths and rejuvenation from 15th and 16th centuries. That is the reason it's called as renewal or rebirth. This period was also called as, in other understanding, as Enlightenment era. Enlightenment era. Sorry? Enlightenment era means, and I'll give you a beautiful way to become strong in your words. Shall I give you or not? Vocabulary. You want to become strong in vocabulary? It's the most easiest thing. People take lakhs of rupees or thousands of rupees in coaching for that. But I'll give you free of cost. Whatever you know, from that word only you should build. So in enlightenment word, what is you know? What is the word you know? There is one word you know, light. So when somebody is getting illuminated from inside, of course, though I am not showing that color or light outside, I become enlightened. मेरा आंखा मतलब in Hindi देशों नो मेरा आंखों की पट्टी खुल गई ना कल्लू तेरुचुकुन्नाई. I got that my brain started working. No, now I know. Earlier I was like a fool. I was in the darkness. I got light. And that's the reason even in Sanskrit word guru, what is the meaning of that? Gu means that darkness. Ru means that light. Guru is that one which throws light in the darkness. If you are kept in the dark, the guru is throwing light and asking you to come out of the darkness. What is better, living in darkness or in light? As far as humans are concerned, not bats or animals. Which is better? Coming to light. And when you become famous, what is the word used by English fellows, journalists? This man has come to limelight. He is hogging the limelight. Today's Hindu article, Hindus and Gambhir is hogging the limelight and vachesindi. Appude Gambhir ke upar focus light aa gaya. Now he is coming to action to train the Indian team. Why I am talking about enlightenment now? Because Europe has come out of that darkness, from the darkness towards light. What is darkness? If you blindly follow someone without even questioning, whether it is good or bad, leave aside. Whether it is good or bad, leave aside. We are not interested in that. The idea is whether you are questioning or not. When people start questioning, that means they are getting enlightened. So this era, 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, coming after that, one by one discoveries they were started. All the discoveries, including the discovery of sea routes to India and other parts of the world. Why I am stressing this? You know the answer. Without the trade routes or sea routes, do you think we would have been speaking here like this? I gave you the same stuff earlier. First came the Portuguese, then came the Dutch, then came the French, then last came the English, but these fellows occupied the maximum land and half of the world they have occupied. The first steps towards, stepping out of Europe was because of the need. Necessity is the mother of invention. In Europe, they wanted to do trade with India and other countries. India, what is a beautiful thing in India? Now I am also covering some history part, very small part. What is the most attractive thing that was available in India? Spices, not even gold. It was even costlier than, spices were costlier than gold. So some fellows wanted to do trade here, but the Ottoman Empire has blocked all the trade routes, land routes. So every stage you have to pay check post. Check post padtadi. You have to pay the tax. What is that tax? Toll tax, whatever tax. Now, how much tax you can pay? These fellows are fleecing. And necessity is the mother of invention. So people thought, let us find an alternative route. Like in latest, I think now our Mirzapur also, I don't know, somebody might have been updated. Mirzapur part 3 aa gaya. I have covered that completely. In that also there is the same idea. When land routes are blocked, these fellows find even in our Pushpa also, I think, through the sea, through the river, they send the mal. The same fellow, these people, Europeans also wanted to find a trade route to India and other parts. They have found a trade route, but while coming, first time, this Columbus was a pioneer there. He wanted to find a trade route for India. In fact, he has sailed with some hundreds of soldiers, but he got lost in the way. And he landed in America in 1492. So it was 15th century, I told you, no? People not only started questioning the established thing, they also started discovering new ideas like sea routes. When Columbus landed in America, he thought, I have come to India. Then he went inside and saw all the fellows were not black in color or brown in color, but red in color. He got shocked. I heard from the earlier travelers that Indians are black and brown in color, because how black and yesterday we spoke, no? Indians are of broadly roughly two colored people, in the sense North India were fair people, South India black. Now which part is having the sea coast? The northern part or the peninsular part? In peninsular India, people are dark and brown. So from his predecessors, he heard that the Indians are dark in color. But here, when he founded America, all these fellows were in red in color. Acha, he said, there was a mistake. At least, let me call these fellows as Red Indians. That's the reason American tribal people are called as Red Indians. In our class, these Red Indians will come regularly. Like that, many people after him also sailed to India. They have started India and other parts of the world. Gradually, Asia, India, Africa, Australia, all the parts of the world were discovered rather. They have discovered all this, Captain James Cook, then Columbus, Vasco da Gama. All these fellows have found out sea routes. Wonderful. Anthropology was born here. In the first class, I think I've told you, there is a what, where, when and how, right? And why. In the where, I have told you where anthropology started? In the West. Who has invented sea routes? Westerners or Indians? Westerners. Vasco da Gama, Columbus, Captain James Cook, all these people were Westerners. So, along with these traders, many people like me also wanted to sail, because like Prabhas in that movie, he wanted to see what is there beyond that mountain. Every day he's trying to climb that mountain, is falling down. What is that? Bahubali 1. You remember? Every day. Because it is human curiosity. Humans are curious animals. If I want to add a new definition, it is my definition, copyright protected. Okay. Humans are what animals? Social animals, cultured animals. Third is curious animals. Without curiosity, you are not at all human. So humans wanted to know what is at the end of that. Even in my childhood, I used to have a very beautiful, naive idea. I wanted to go to the end of the world and look from there. What is lying there? It's like almost. I wanted to stand there and see what is. Can you imagine? If Earth is a globe, whatever it is, childhood, about 5-year, 10-year kid, I wanted to see what is the end at the end of the world. Same curiosity is there in humans. They wanted to discover all the areas and territories outside Europe and America. Gradually, by 19th, 20th centuries, they have covered entire world. And in that process was born what was born? Anthropology. In one of the definitions, in one of our earlier classes, we have noted, you can write down this also. We have noted down that anthropology is the knowledge or gossip about ourselves. It is the study of ourselves. So when we are studying about ourselves, in the process, what do also we study? We study others also. Like that, other people were also being studied. Please note down this. Now, as we have noted, anthropology was born in Europe initially. When Europeans started sailing towards different parts of the world, along with them some travelers, businessmen, enthusiasts, voyagers, all of these fellows also started. Initially it was only traders, businessmen, enthusiasts, voyagers, and later even missionaries. The missionaries want to spread their own religion to different parts of the world. That was their aim. Voyagers want to see what is at the end of the world or edge of the world. Enthusiasts want to discover what is there, what are these cultures, etc. Okay, businessmen and traders want to get profits. Everybody got their own targets. These people, basically all of them European fellows. First, initially it was Europe only. All these fellows are Europeans. They wanted to study the other people. A board మీద ఏముందో ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ అట్లాగే రాసుకోండి మీ నోట్స్. ఇదర్ కుచ్ హటానే కా కుచ్ ఘటానే కా, నథింగ్ రిమూవ్, నథింగ్ యాడెడ్. జస్ట్ కాపీ పేస్ట్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇస్ దేర్ ఇన్ ద బోర్డ్, ఆన్ ద బోర్డ్. ఎట్లా ఉందో అట్లా, ఇంక్లూడింగ్ ద యారో. దిస్ విల్ create that illustrative mindset in you. Illustrations give you more marks in the exam. Please note fast. Okay. So all these were basically travelers of different kind. Traders, businessmen, voyagers, enthusiasts, and missionaries. Everybody has got his or her own task cut out, usually males only, his task cut out, and they wanted to study in the process. It's not that they wanted to study, only some people wanted to know others. Otherwise, how many people can afford to travel from Europe to India with some pounds, maybe 50 pounds, 100 pounds, nobody can afford, only rich fellows. So they want to get some profit. But in the process, they started to study the other people. These people studied the other people. Who are these other people? People in different continents. Africa was already known, but in some other parts. Africa, Asia, Australia, and America. Because America was a very distant continent from Europe, America was also discovered later. So these European travelers, enthusiasts, etc., while they were doing business or while they were carrying out their activity, they've also studied or collected information from about the other people, in which parts of the world? From Africa, Asia, Australia, and even America. And one continent where people don't live, so no problem, Antarctica, people are not bothered. So when they have discovered these people, Was it so easy? Was it like how these people experience was they've got into culture shock. Suddenly they've like discovered someone completely naked. You go crazy. First of all, your biological senses will stop. If I'm a white man, I land in a coast, an island, all the fellows are coming with arrows and bows and they are stark naked from top to bottom. These people got into shock. Are these people humans or animals? First, what is my reaction? You please go back to that period, not your time, not from 21st century. You go back to 15th century, 16th century. Imagine 500 years back how people lived. First time when they come into contact with each other, what they experienced something called as culture shock. Literally get shocked. How can these fellows not wear a single piece of cloth from top to bottom? Are they humans or animals? Or did I come to some other planet? Like there was one old movie, Planet of Apes. So suddenly they go to a planet, this planet is completely full of monkeys and apes. Very famous movie, Hollywood movie, Planet of Apes. Like that, they thought, did I come to some other planet? Then they started, acha, these people are also speaking. Oh, we are also speaking. We also have language. They also have language. Acha. But my language is different. Their language is different. Their culture is different. My culture is different. Why? Because I am wearing clothes, hat, boot and coat. That fellow is not wearing anything. That fellow is directly hunting and eating animals, whereas I cook and eat. Or they're also cooking, but they're all doing very rugged things. These people are uncivilized people. These people look like animals. They're almost near to animals. Okay, let us draw some points about them. If I go to Andaman, I told you, yesterday you will take a diary or some kind of a thing, write down or take pictures, videos. Later you want to publish them, you want to make YouTube content. Again, you have to type the content. So something you have to write. People started writing. They used to collect information. This information was called as accounts. So these fellows produced something called as accounts. Because in one of the questions, see, there are different types of questions in UPSC. What they say, describe, discuss, provide a brief account of, for example, Australopithecus. Account means, what is account? What do you mean by account? It is a description. Accounts are also called as descriptions. So these travelers, voyagers, enthusiasts, missionaries, etc., when they have gone to different parts of the world, they met these non-Europeans and non-white people, went for a culture shock, later realized that these people are also human beings, but not developed like us. Definitely, people living in Europe, they will definitely like this accounts. If I write the same thing and publish it, will I not get money and fame? Right or wrong? Like a novelist, I'll become famous. So let me take photographs. Of course, photography developed very late. Let me write accounts and descriptions. Then I will come and sell in Europe, England, France, etc., Germany. I'll make money. So they are getting two incomes. One income is from trade or other, their main profession. Second income they are getting is giving information to the European scholars. So what these scholars will do? They will process the information. Again, they have written books. So every Tom, Dick and Harry cannot write a book. So the trader, traveler does not have the language. So he'll give only the raw material, raw stuff. And that fellow will make a finished product. Anthropological theories or anthropological knowledge also has some of these basic books written in 18th century, 19th century. How were they made? They were based on the accounts or descriptions given by these traders, etc. Am I clear? Shall I repeat? So how these were all in the form of raw material. I'll take another page and write. These accounts or descriptions were basically what? They were raw material. They were in crude form. Just like crude oil come to India, what we do? We refine. There are big refineries set up in Visakhapatnam, Mumbai, Gujarat. Big ship will come. It will throw the crude into the tanker. That fellow will burn. Then it will give oil, petrol, gas, natural gas, kerosene. Everything is separated. That is a crude oil. Then what you get? Out of crude oil, you get at least 10 or dozen products. Naphtha, kerosene, diesel. Similarly, when these accounts were all given to scholars, this is a raw material, crude content. Crude content or raw material. This raw material was processed. This raw material was processed into books. And who were collecting the raw material? Mostly these people are those travelers, enthusiasts, etc. These people are not well read people. They are not good in language. Correct? If you collect an information from some fellow on the road, that fellow is not able to write. But you are a good writer. You can collect the information, make it into a book, and you become famous. So these books actually laid the foundations for anthropology. That is the reason I told you I'll go very damn slow, ABCD manner. Today this is a ABCD class. This ABCD may not come in the exam, but you should know. Okay? So these books laid some foundations of the subject called as anthropology. Right? So I guess we got a time for break. Second. Nearly. Okay, you can go for a break and come back. 10 minutes. So based on this, we will take up the class forward after this. Chaliye. Yeah, friends. So you're back into the class and just have a look at the board. It is listing out all the theories that are part of your chapter 6. Right from classical evolutionism, historical particularism, functionalism, structuralism, culture and personality school, neo-evolutionism, cultural materialism, symbolic and interpretive theories, cognitive theories, and postmodernism. In fact, starting the subject with theories is a big challenge. It's a big task. It's not an easy task. And once we are successful in making some kind of doing justice to this, our Gadi is on a highway. And you have to, as I told you right from day one, give your 100% attention in this. 100%. Because even we miss one class, you are gone. Because every class is dependent on the previous class. And I have this habit of, again, going back to previous class. You have already noted that. In the previous class, what was that word? Who is that thinker? Every time I keep repeating this. So if you miss that, neither your friend can recreate it, nor there will be one single book that can help you, nor any other video. Because my style is unique, other person's style is his or her uniqueness. So no person is singular. The treatment I give to the subject is my own unique way. So you will be missing that. So going further, what exactly is this classical evolutionism? Some people in the West, as I told you, started thinking. We'll be going very deep into each of them. So classical evolutionism simply is a 19th century theory. I'll be coming again to this slide. Again, I'll be discussing detailedly. Just I'm giving an overview. It is a 19th century theory given by some evolutionists. Who are these evolutionists? Our Tyler, Morgan, and Fraser. Tyler, Morgan, and Fraser. E.B. Tyler was that scholar in Europe, in Britain. So Tyler is a British fellow. Fraser is a British man, Morgan is an American thinker. Similarly, after some time, Franz Boas means, I have written that name already. Right? Who is Franz Boas? Keyword approach starts. Father of American anthropology. And this man divided the subject matter of anthropology. I have written on the board. 4 divisions he has made. Social, cultural. Of course, those days they used to call cultural. Now we have added the word social, cultural. Nothing wrong. So he said there are 4 divisions in anthropology. Cultural anthropology, biological or physical anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and linguistic anthropology. Who am I? I am Franz Boas. The same Franz Boas has come here. And his ideas became popular as historical particularism. Functionalism is one kind of a theory on one aspect. Acha, in fact, in the beginning of this class, I told you on what are the subjects on which these theories are given. Can you recollect them? 3 subjects, 3 phenomena, 3: society, culture, social cultural institutions. So these people were basically giving their theories or isms on society and culture. Basically, of course, social cultural institutions also. But number one word or phenomena that was dominating in all these theories is culture. These people gave their theories on majorly the item or the aspect called as culture. When you are talking about culture, are you not talking about society as well? Are you talking about society also or not? Simple, I just want that answer. Yes. So it is implied, though explicitly we are not mentioning society. Anybody who is speaking about culture is also speaking about society. General, society in general, society, culture in general, human society in general, human culture in general. Not one society or not one culture. Generally speaking, they started. Then some people specialized. Everybody is saying about talking about general society. Let me talk about only some specific society. Some people are talking about laws. Let the entire world be governed by laws. For example, Newton's laws are applicable to only India or Africa or entire world. Entire creation or matter. Newton's laws. Like that, some people gave laws applicable to entire humanity. Some people gave laws applicable to some people only. So like that, there are varieties in these laws. So the moment you see the board, you started seeing that variety. That's the reason different names. Classical evolutionism. Whereas the same word again you can see repeated again in neo-evolutionism. Classical means old or traditional. Neo means, what is the meaning? New. So both these are slightly connected, but in between them several theories. Historical particularism, diffusionism, functionalism, structural functionalism, though they is not given the numbers. Now if we add numbers, you see generally saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I told you yesterday there are dozen. How come? 1, 2, 3. These two should be separated. Examiner, acha, I must, with all due respect to UPSC, there are many mistakes in the syllabus. Openly and with a lot of courage, I am saying. I can point out those. Even in the notification, they have made mistakes. Unfortunately. But we cannot do the mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So actually speaking, there are dozen theories or ideas or concepts or doctrines or philosophies or principles. Whichever way you call, they are about some knowledge. They are some bundle of knowledge, rather bundles of knowledge. So these bundles, if you can handle them, you can score brilliantly. So like that, one theory after the other came. So you may ask, sir, why so many theories? You should ask. There is one catchphrase I use very regularly. Ulta socho jaldi seedha ho jaoge zindagi mein. In Hindi I tell, but in Telugu if you translate or English, the way, I mean, the tweakier you think, the straighter you become fast. Ulta sochna hai. You can't accept things as they are. Otherwise you are just blindly following. No, if we blindly follow, what we become? We are going to darkness. If we question and try to see things from different dimensions, then you are going into light. So you should question, why so many theories are there? Why can't phenomena like society, culture and social institutions can be explained with only one theory or two theories? Correct? And the answer is, the world is made of 7 colors. In fact, more than 7 colors. If you split white light, what you get? A rainbow. And rainbow has got 7 colors plus the unseen ultraviolet, violet ke above, infrared and several other rays, gamma rays, X rays and whatnot. That means there are several things which are part of life. Every one is giving one color to life. One fellow sees the reality from one angle, you see from one angle, I see from one angle, he sees from another angle. So you give one theory, he gives one theory, I give one theory. So naturally, we don't agree with each other. Every time it's not required that I agree with you. Especially regarding this phenomena, society. I say society is static. You say, how come? No sir, society is dynamic. Somebody says society is static as well as dynamic. In some times it is society is static, in some other times it is dynamic. See, 3 ideas have come only on that small thing. Imagine on culture, society, how many ideas should come? So dozen ideas are there given for us. In fact, there are more theories, but in syllabus they have only given some. For example, there was Marxism also, feminism also. These are not there in the syllabus, but in our masters we had. Okay, so we are, but they will be coming and touching. We have to just put a dash, something like a small, some spice in the curry. You have to sprinkle feminism, sprinkle Marxism somewhere. Not completely. If you do completely, you may lose marks. It's all, I'll give you that knowledge, how we do that. Okay, so these ideas got generated, as we have told you, right from the 19th century. This classical evolutionism started from 19th century. And as we have noted earlier, is 19th century the only beginning? How far back can we go? How far back can we go in this journey? How far can we go in this journey? Backwards? Right from ancient Greek times. We have discussed these fellows' names already. Herodotus and Aristotle, major contributors. Herodotus, in fact, this man has come from some kind of, he has done a very interesting thing. He has done a kind of a tour. He has conducted some tour. Rather, he went around some places around his kingdom. He has traveled to many small kingdoms and islands around Greece. Those days itself, he has traveled more than 3,000 kilometers. More than. And studied more than 30 societies. This man traveled 3,000 kilometers and studied almost 30 societies. Some people call this Herodotus as the father of anthropology. Some people. You have to add this summa. If you miss some, you may lose marks. Because only some people believe him as a true pioneer of anthropology. Because he is the one who studied the other people of his times thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, sorry. Who is an anthropologist? Now let us come to the basic question. Who is an anthropologist? The person who studies about himself. Does he stop there? He also next, what is he studying? About others. So this fellow has gone out from his kingdom and he has traveled different places and he studied others. So he should be the first anthropologist in the world. Some people, that's the reason, call Herodotus as the first true anthropologist or first anthropologist of the world. Even though the word anthropology was not there. Because this fellow lived at between 480 BC and this entire idea has come between 480 and 440 BC. Whereas Aristotle, who gave the word anthropologist, he stayed around about 380 BC. Who is younger? Who is older? Who is younger? Who is older between these two? Herodotus is older. Aristotle is younger. So, even if Aristotle is credited with giving the definition of anthropologist, already someone has already done the job. Even though the word anthropologist was not known to Herodotus, he has already done the job of an anthropologist. Am I clear? Even though the word or term anthropologist or anthropology did not come to the world or not known to the world, already about 60-70 years earlier than that, Herodotus has done the job of an anthropologist. That is the reason some people consider Herodotus as the first anthropologist of the world. And Aristotle is given the same credit because these fellows were not sitting idle. They were doing something or the other. They were telling their students, this is that. For example, Aristotle believed in the theory of abiogenesis or theory of biogenesis. That means life comes from mud or some kind of a thing. Because maggots, small worms, they come from the mud. They never thought, there was no science, that much advanced science. At least they have tried to try to understand phenomena. Okay, life comes from non-living organisms. Theory of abiogenesis. So people were talking about all the things they were seeing for the first time, because before Greek civilization, humans were not even thinking like that. Humans were trying to make a living. They were trying to just eat and be alive. That's it. They never had time to think and give theories. There were no students sitting like this till 380 or 400, 500 BC. Till Socrates' time. That means if you go back 1000 BC, let us go to 1000 BC, there were no students, no teachers in Europe. In India, we were slightly advanced than them. But unfortunately, India was overtaken by Western fellows. India already had great scholars. You know, who are these people? Panini. We had, Bhaskara. We had Sushruta. We had, dozens of them. Aryabhatta. And all these were great scholars. But unfortunately, their knowledge could not dominate the world. Okay, keep that aside. We'll come back to this. So Aristotle and Greek and other Greek scholars like, Herodotus have contributed right in the ancient times. And later, some other people also started contributing to the knowledge of anthropology. Who are these people? For example, in the coming to this 17th century, 16th century, several other scholars started. This is only for your academic interest. Maybe very rarely, if a question comes, trace the origin and development of anthropology since ancient times, and question vaste idantha raskunta ravali. Very rarely there is a chance. But we cannot take UPSC for granted, let me tell you. Okay? What could be the question? You can put a question on your paper. Trace the origins and development of anthropology since the ancient times. Trace the origins and evolution or development of anthropology since ancient times. If he uses the word ancient, you have to go to Greek times and come back. Even if you write one line also, your answer will be complete. Because you have to come to 21st century from 480 BC to 21st century. How much you can write? Even 4 pages will not be sufficient. But you have to smartly put one line, two lines, that's it. So we are also sharing only one line. You are not going to publish a thesis or a PhD. For that reason, we are only sharing this much knowledge. That is more than sufficient. That too for a question of improbability. Rarely it can come. It may not come also. But you should know the roots of the theory, the subject. And David Hume and Immanuel Kant in Germany and other parts of Europe, they have started defining anthropology and social anthropology. What exactly is social anthropology? It is about the science of human, their societies, their cultures, their lifestyle, their habits, their behavior. So initially, these scholars of 17th century have kick-started their knowledge. Again, French philosopher Montesquieu was the first social thinker to have a systematic theory about society. He was also like, if you remember, we have a syllabus in paper 2, General Studies Mains, GS Mains, paper 2, there is a concept called separation of powers. Again, I told you, now today you come to my thinking. What is my thinking? My track. Today onwards, please follow my track. What is the track? I told you in the beginning of the class. You should by heart the syllabus. How would I know? I have written my mains 2002, long back, and syllabus has changed. But still I remember topic in GS. How? Because I don't, take things for granted. It is a serious stuff. In GS2, there is a topic called separation of powers. And this man, Montesquieu, has given the theory of separation of powers. So these people in 17th century, 16th century, 18th century, 19th century, for 300 to 400 years, they were giving one theory after the other. Same person was giving theory to sociology, anthropology, society, science, political science, public administration. For example, if we talk about one scholar called Max Weber, some of you might have heard about Weber. He talked about bureaucracy. He made bureaucracy popular. Bureaucracy means tomorrow if you become civil servants, you will be called as part of a bureaucracy. You are a bureaucrat. That man invented the word bureaucracy. Rather, he has popularized the word bureaucracy. And this man has contributed through his knowledge to philosophy, political science, sociology, public administration, this side, even some ideas in anthropology also. One man like contributing so much. So Montesquieu was also like that. He was contributing to history, philosophy, public administration, political science, sociology, anthropology. So these people were scholars par excellence. They were not just like that. They were thinking and speaking. Everything they spoke and everything they thought has become knowledge, guiding the next generations. So now, he also gave a systematic theory about society. Auguste Comte, the father of sociology, he is called as father of sociology. This man also contributed a great deal along with Herbert Spencer about evolution in the society. That means evolution, first time, right? We spoke about in the first class, evolution. The key word that we'll be spending a lot of time in these classes for the next 4 or 5 months. Many times this word will come. What is the word? Evolution. Have we evolved or not? Which not they have not evolved or created. As per anthropology, we have evolved. In what terms we have evolved? In which dimensions we have evolved? Biological, social, cultural. In all the 3 dimensions we have evolved. So we are here today. And as students of civil services also you will evolve. In my class, you can write it in a bold statement and put a date, time. Tomorrow you can sue me in the court also, no problem. If you have not evolved, you may drag me to the court. I say mazak mein. Okay, that is very serious stuff. Huh? But unless I do that give that guarantee. See, there are very rare people in this field, you can guarantee that. But I'll guarantee. If you follow my track, my path, you can see the success. Aapke aankhon ke samne dikhta hai. Okay, you can achieve. It's only if. It's a question of not if. It's a question of when. Not this attempt, next attempt. If you follow 100%, not even 99, 100%. Next, Henry Maine. There was an English evolutionist called Henry Maine. He worked in the Viceroy's Executive Council in India as a law member. So he is a legal expert. This man worked in India, wrote several books on India. So he also contributed to something called as evolutionism. In fact, he is also a classical evolutionist, but he is not there in the syllabus. For luckily, we are given only 3 scholars. Who are these names you see in the syllabus? Syllabus ke saath travel karo, you become strong in the syllabus. What is there? How many names are there in classical evolutionism? 3 names. Tyler, Morgan, Fraser. E.B. Tyler, Edward Burnett Tyler, L.H. Morgan, Louis Henry Morgan, and James George Fraser. So these people are there in our syllabus, that's it. But there are also other evolutionists, like I told you, Henry Maine, McLennan, as we have written here, Henry Maine, McLennan. Herbert Spencer is there in sociology. Sociologists have hijacked Herbert Spencer. We have hijacked Tyler, Morgan, and Fraser. I'm just joking, but it is serious. We, in our anthropology syllabus, mostly talk about Tyler, Morgan, Fraser. Sometimes we'll speak about Spencer. Passingly, in a passing reference, we will speak about Maine and McLennan also. But in sociology, people spend good time on Spencer, because he was talking about majorly society. So anthropologists have taken over culture, sociologists have taken over society. Inka clear ga divide cheyalante, right? If you want to know what sociologists do, they are mostly interested in society. And what anthropologists are interested predominantly, we are interested in culture. Though we also study society, though they also study culture, but like 90-10 ratio. We study culture 90, 10 society. They study 90 society and 10 culture. So like that we have divided the syllabus matter, and many a times we have common syllabus. So no problem, right? That is definitely you will be getting some good knowledge on society as well in anthropology. And these people laid the foundations for social anthropology in Europe, McLennan, Maine and others, along with Tyler. Now coming to one of the heroes of our syllabus. I'll have to spend some time here on Tyler because he is there in our syllabus. Tyler, what is the full name? E.B. Tyler. E.B. stands for Edward Burnett Tyler. I'll be going into detail when we start the actual classes. Today it's only a curtain raiser. Curtain raiser is also like a full class, but curtain, we have, you can imagine what will be the full class like, full blown class. Tyler was born into a very rich family. He was like, right, he was a brass making manufacturer. In fact, his family was making brass items. BRASS, one of the costliest object. So if I'm making a costly product, then naturally I'm a rich man. Okay. So he was a rich man. He gets some disease after his 10th class or somewhere. He has some breathing issues, etc. The doctors advise him for some rest and travel. So he bought ticket to America. He goes around the world. He travels to USA, Cuba and Mexico. And he was born as an anthropologist in the journey. Before his journey, he was just the son of a rich brat of a rich family. Bane baap ka bigda hua beta. In Hindi they call. So he is a rich fellow, rich kid. So, but because of this, his disease, some breathing issues, he had to stop studies. He could not even complete graduation. So he wants to travel to America and explore the world. In that journey, he meets a person called Christie. Very odd man. While he was traveling to Cuba from America in a bus. Of course, Cuba and America are very nearby. Once they after completing the launchy antam Telugulo launchy. Launch means that deck, that thing travels on the water. They come to the land in Cuba. They sit in a bus, and they were trying to understand because the color of the skin is matching. Christie is also European. This fellow is a European. Not those Cuban Americans. Cuba is full of the black people, Negro people, and brown people. So immediately they greeted each other. And Christie started speaking in a very interesting language. He said, thou, thee, all that language he was speaking. This man went crazy. What on earth you are speaking? This language is of Shakespeare language, 14th century, 15th century. Now still in 19th century you are speaking. He says, I am a Jesuit Christian. I am now converted. I have taken up the gospel and I am going for missionary activity. What is a missionary activity? I am on a mission. I want to convert as many people into my religion. So he is traveling in the bus and he was traveling to Cuba. Somewhere, and he asks, why have you taken up this job? What were you doing earlier? Christie said, I used to work in bone caves of France under one scientist called Edward Lartet. So these are all very interesting stories. Christie is the name. This man met him on a bus in Cuba. Christie used to work under a man called Edward Lartet. We will talk about Edward Lartet in one occasion. Okay. And Edward Lartet was working in bone caves. What are bone caves in France? So, in France, those times, people were hunting human skeletons. human skeletons were, and people believed they will be getting some gold, some ring, some other treasure associated with bones. And if you even find some bones also, if they belong to humans, they will sell to museums and make money. If they find some tools, stone tools, they will sell them to museums and make money. So some people became bone hunters. In old Hollywood movies, you can see one of the movie title is Bone Hunter. So these people were bone hunters, and Christie worked under him. So this man started asking question, what do you find there? He said, Christie said, we used to find some prehistoric tools and bones and thing. Now, why you study prehistoric thing? They are put in museums. What are these museums talking about? All these Indian people, these Mexicans, right? These Africans, Negroes, and their cultures, their bows and arrows, their pottery. A lot of knowledge is there, which is always ever interesting. There is archaeology, there is prehistory. So he was also giving a brief introduction of anthropology there, like how we have given you an introduction of anthropology 2 days back. So a small discussion happened between Christie and Tyler, where this man got interested in this new thing. Because he was a rich man, he can do anything. He need not work, so he can pursue a new interest. This new interest is collection of all these activities, information, and studying the simple societies. So he started, now he has, after completing Cuba trip, he goes to Mexico. He studies, collects some information from Mexico, and he starts writing his travel logs, his travel history, etc. He writes books like, History of Mankind, travel logs, then Anna Hawk, and other basic books. And after coming back to Europe, to England, he starts falling in love with this knowledge. He becomes a fan of anthropology. Are we shooting out of time? It's only 4:30, no? Huh? 4:15, that's the reason. Maybe the class is scheduled there, but nobody told me. Okay, no problem. मेरा flow अभी बंद कर देंगे. So 2 minutes. This is very difficult. Just like a boiler, it takes time to get warmed up. So this man realizes that there is an extraordinary knowledge available in the world in the form of the life histories, behavior, culture, society of these simple societies like Mexicans. Imagine in 19th century, what was Mexico? Where was Mexico? Dominated by red Indians only. Even if you go today, Mexico, except these white people, mostly you'll find Negroes and American Indians. So American Indians are tribal people, basically tribal people. So this man developed interest, and he started writing and collecting information. Over few decades, he became a famous person because he has published a book called Primitive Culture. Primitive Culture, 1871. From this book, his fame rose in Europe. He becomes a famous person. Earlier, the colleges were denying admission to him because of his condition and other status. Because he belonged to certain particular community, he was not given easy admission. With this publication and scholarship, he establishes anthropology department and becomes the first head of the department. Can you imagine? That's the reason he is the star of anthropology in the very beginning. He is the one who established anthropology as a discipline in Oxford University in 1880s, etc. So the discipline starts taking roots as a subject. What is as a subject means? Somebody should teach, somebody should listen and write notes, write exams and get a thesis, so that students will become next generation of anthropologists. Yes? I think your entry is from different gate. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So E.B. Tyler is considered as father of anthropology because of that, in father of modern anthropology and also British anthropology. You can write down E.B. Tyler is considered father of modern anthropology and father of British anthropology because of these contributions. In fact, when we enter into the classical evolutionism, again theory, I'll be giving you notes on E.B. Tyler's contribution, separate notes. The handouts will have separate notes, notes dictation will have separate notes. You have to put them together and totally understand the subject, make your bullet points. That is your evolution. These bullet points have to be written as per the demand of the question in the exam hall. That's it. The exercise is very simple, but the moment from here to here, putting things on paper is a very difficult journey. It's not a rosy one. You'll get some challenges. Okay, I'll conclude the class here so that I want to facilitate your smooth flow from one class to the other. And we'll meet in the next session and in the actual classes. I don't know whether dates were given to you or not. Even probably we may start on the next Monday, probably, most probably. Okay? Chaliye, all the best. God bless you.